Alright guys, welcome back to Lindsay Speaks. Let's start this reading right away. Okay, I don't know who this is for, but I'm picking up on some heavy collective energy right now. Somebody watching this, you've just silenced a whole group of people who came against you. People are shook. And you're the talk of the town. Spirit says, this message isn't just a confirmation, it's your recognition. I'm being shown whispers, murmurs, secret conversations, and all of them are about you. Your name is traveling, not just locally. Spirit says your energy is moving through spiritual and physical realms. People are feeling your presence even when you're not there. And the wild part? Most of them never thought you'd make it this far. I'm getting that this wasn't just one person. This was a group effort, a team, a system. Some of you had co-workers, fake friends, family members, even complete strangers team up, intentionally or not, to try and bring your light down. They whispered, they planned, they watched, but they never expected the tables to turn. And baby, those tables flipped hard. Spirit says what was done in the dark, it's not only coming to light, it's already exposed. And the people who are part of this group, they're now scrambling, silenced, and stunned. I keep hearing on hush. Spirit says you didn't have to scream, you didn't need to clap back. Your glow up, your growth, your peace did the talking for you. And now they don't know what to say. You're being seen in a way that has people in disbelief. People who once laughed at you are now whispering your name in reverence. People who doubted you are now watching your every move. Not with love, with fear. Because you've become undeniable, unshakable, chosen. Spirit is showing me this shift as something ancestral. This is bigger than a grudge, bigger than drama. This is spiritual warfare. And you won. You didn't just overcome attacks, you exposed what was fake. You've stepped into your light so fiercely, it's making everything inauthentic around you crumble. And that group, whether it was karmic family, co-workers, false spiritualists, online haters, or jealous friends, they're being forced to face the truth. You didn't need backup. You didn't retaliate. You elevated. And that elevation is embarrassing for them because they did the most and you did the inner work. And now your energy speaks louder than their words ever did. Spirit keeps saying, you were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be small. They tried to keep you quiet because your light was disruptive, but you didn't just break free. You rose so high they can't even reach the version of you that exists today. People are talking about how you did what they thought was impossible. You shut down the narrative, you rewrote your story, and now you're magnetic. People feel drawn to you, even if they don't know why. That's spiritual power, that's divine alignment, that's legacy in motion. So if this is hitting for you, Spirit says this isn't just a message, it's a moment. This is your confirmation. You're not crazy, you're not imagining the shift. The silence, it's real. The stares, they're happening. The recognition, it's long overdue. You are the topic, you are the storm they tried to contain. You are the light they tried to dim. And now you're untouchable. And right as I finished channeling that, 8 distinct messages came through, like 8 cards laid out by Spirit, each one revealing a layer of this moment you're stepping into. So if this energy is resonating so far, trust me, you'll want to hear all 8. Go ahead and claim your space in this energy by commenting, I am protected, I am rising, down below. Share this if you know someone else who's overcoming the odds in silence. And if you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell because we go deep here at Linda the Tarot. Let's dive into what Spirit's showing me, card by card, message by message. Number 1, you're trending spiritually. So let's start with the first message Spirit brought through loud and clear. You're trending, not online, spiritually. Your name is being spoken in rooms your feet haven't even touched yet. I'm getting this very strong sense that the energy you carry is echoing into spaces you never even intended to enter. And still, people feel you. They're sensing something shift. They're drawn in by the glow of your transformation, even if they don't understand it yet. This isn't about popularity in the traditional sense. This is energetic recognition. You've been marked by the divine. Your frequency is rising and people can't help but notice. Even those who don't believe in energy are talking about yours. Because you're no longer blending in with the noise. You've become a signal. I keep seeing this image of whispers. Spirit shows me people talking low, looking over their shoulders, asking things like, did you see what they're doing now? Or how are they still going after all of that? And deep down, these people are stunned. Because by all logic, you weren't supposed to be here. You weren't supposed to recover. You weren't supposed to grow. And yet, here you are. You're not just surviving anymore. You're radiating. The ones who tried to bury your name are now being forced to speak it with reverence. Spirit is saying that your light is now louder than their gossip ever was. That means your character, your healing, your comeback story, it's speaking volumes. People are watching from a distance, realizing you didn't need validation. You just needed time. And you used that time to grow, to evolve, to align. There's a divine magnetism on you right now. Some people are attracted to it, some are intimidated by it, but nobody can ignore it. And here's the kicker. You didn't even ask for the spotlight. You weren't chasing clout. You weren't trying to prove anything. You were just minding your healing. But that healing, it became undeniable. Spirit elevated you for a reason, because someone had to witness that real transformation is possible, even after betrayal, trauma, or being counted out. And while you're trending in the spiritual realm, your energy is pulling blessings toward you. Opportunities, support, aligned connections. Spirit is showing me divine messengers carrying your energy ahead of you, preparing the way for what's next. That's how chosen you are. So if you've been feeling this shift, if you felt the stares, sensed the curiosity, or noticed the silence from people who used to be loud, this is your confirmation. They see you now. And some of them, they wish they had treated you better when they had the chance. But Spirit says, you're not here for revenge, you're here for revelation. And this is just the first of 8 powerful truths that are unfolding for you right now. You're trending spiritually, and baby, the algorithm up there never gets it wrong. Keep guts, that can be your... Number 2, you shut down a group energy. Now, here's where things get really real. The second message Spirit laid down, it wasn't just one person. This wasn't a one-on-one battle. This was a whole group. For someone watching this, Spirit is saying, you didn't just face betrayal, you faced organized betrayal, a network of people. Some of them knew each other, some didn't. But they were connected by one thing, your name in their mouth. Maybe it was family who ganged up on you. Maybe co-workers who smiled in your face but plotted behind your back. Maybe an online smear campaign, spiritual haters, or even people pretending to be friends. But this energy, it was calculated, coordinated. They had one shared goal, like to bring you down. And let's be honest, at one point it felt like they might succeed. The lies, the manipulation, the way they tried to isolate you. Spirit acknowledges how dark it got, how confusing it became, how alone you felt. They wanted to break your spirit, and they tried everything. Gossip, smear, sabotage, even spiritual attacks for some of you. But what they didn't account for was your resilience, your divine protection, your quiet power. Spirit is saying you dismantled this group. Not with drama, not by clapping back, but by rising above. You stayed aligned, you healed, you elevated. And that elevation, it became their exposure. Now their silence is deafening. Where there used to be chaos and noise, there's nothing. They can't even look you in the eye because they see now what you always knew. You were never the problem. You were just the mirror, the trigger, the threat. Your very presence disrupted their comfort zones. Your light exposed their darkness. Some of them are still watching you, but from the shadows. Spirit says they don't speak your name anymore unless it's in awe or in regret. They're realizing they built a narrative around someone they never really understood. And now that the truth is out, their words don't hold weight anymore. You shut them down without even having to raise your voice, without revenge, without losing your peace. And that's the part that stings the most. They threw everything at you and you still won. Spirit says, when you're chosen, no crowd can cancel what's been divinely assigned to you. You're walking proof that protection isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just unshakable alignment. And for someone listening right now, Spirit wants you to stop asking why they turned on you. The answer is simple. Your energy couldn't be controlled, and that scared them. This group came together to bring you down, and instead they exposed themselves. Their plans collapsed, their unity dissolved. And your glow, your growth, it's louder than any lie they ever told. You didn't just shut down one hater, you shut down the entire operation. That's spiritual power, that's divine authority, and this is just the beginning of your rise. Number 3, the power of your presence. Alright, so let's talk about what your presence is doing right now. This is deeper than popularity, this is deeper than looks. Spirit says your energy alone is making people nervous, and they don't even know why. You see, there are people around you, or even watching from afar, asking one question over and over. How did they survive that? Because by all logic, you weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to come out of that betrayal hole, you weren't supposed to still be standing after what that group tried to put you through. You weren't supposed to be smiling, healing, glowing. But here you are, and your presence, it speaks before you even say a word. You walk into a room, digital or physical, and energy shifts. The room gets quieter, people straighten up. Some avoid eye contact, others stare but quickly look away. Why? Because they feel your power. Spirit says you didn't have to post about it, you didn't have to name names, you didn't have to retaliate, clap back, or prove anything. Your glow up became the truth. Your alignment became the proof. Your peace became the revenge. People who once mocked you, doubted you, or tried to play you are now realizing that what they were messing with was anointed. You weren't just protected, you were divinely covered. And when you're divinely covered, anyone who throws shade ends up sitting in their own darkness. And now, the shift is clear. People talk softer around you. Some keep their distance, not because you've changed in a bad way, but because your light makes them confront the shadows they still live in. That's why your presence is so intimidating. Spirit says it's not just what you survived, it's how you carried yourself while surviving. You kept your head up, You kept moving forward. You didn't match low energy with low energy. You ascended. You became a walking lesson in grace under fire. And here's what's wild. The same people who whispered about your downfall are now whispering about your glow. The same ones who laughed when you cried are stunned at your peace. They don't know how to process someone who stayed soft and strong at the same time. So if you're wondering why certain people are acting weird, distant, or overly polite lately, that's not just awkwardness, that's spiritual awareness. Your presence reminds them of the truth they tried to avoid. And the truth is this: you are chosen. Spirit clapped back for you. And the echo of that clap still lingers in the air. You don't have to fight for attention or validation. The power of your presence is enough. It's always been enough. And baby, they feel it. Number 4, ancestors and protection. Now, this part is powerful and deeply spiritual. Spirit is saying you weren't walking through this alone, not for 1 second. Even when you felt abandoned, even when people turned on you, even when you didn't know who to trust, your ancestors never left your side. They weren't silent, they weren't still. They were in the background, moving pieces you couldn't see, blocking energies you didn't even know were coming for you. And that group of people who tried to stop you, Spirit says they never stood a chance because they weren't just fighting you. They were fighting your entire lineage. You come from a bloodline that's not ordinary. Warriors, healers, seers, divine feminine and masculine energies who have walked this earth before you and left their spiritual protection behind. You may not know their names, you may not have their photos, but their presence is undeniable. It's in your dreams, in your intuition. In those moments you felt surrounded, but still safe. Spirit is showing me shields, swords, an army in the spirit realm. And the message is clear. They were intercepting every dart sent your way. That psychic attack, blocked. That lie they spread, reversed. That ritual done in secret, silenced before it could hit. You are spiritually armored. And the ones who tried to harm you are realizing that now. They lit candles with your name in their mouths. They called on forces they didn't understand. And instead of reaching you, those forces returned to sender immediately. Because your energy is not up for negotiation. You were born into this lifetime with divine contracts already signed. And one of them was clear. This soul shall not be touched. For some of you, your protection goes back generations. I'm talking ancient Egypt, indigenous bloodlines, Yoruba priestesses, Celtic seers, the kind of power that doesn't just go away with time, the kind of power that watches over you and waits until the exact moment to intervene. You've probably wondered how you made it through certain storms, how you dodged situations that should have broken you, how things that took others out somehow missed you. And now you know, your ancestors, they carried you when you couldn't carry yourself. And let's be clear, they didn't just protect you from the outside, they protected your mind, your path, your spirit. They whispered into your dreams, they sent signs, numbers, birds, feathers. They activated your intuition. You were always being guided, always being watched over. That's why you're still standing. That's why you're still protected. And that's why those attacks never stuck, because your bloodline said, not this one, not today, not ever. Spirit says, thank your ancestors. Say it out loud or in silence. They hear you. Because your glow up isn't just personal, it's ancestral and they're proud of you. Kiko. Number 5, your victory is triggering. Now, we need to talk about something Spirit made very clear. Your victory is not just inspiring, it's triggering. The very people who were rooting for your downfall are now forced to sit back and watch you rise. And it's not just that you're rising, it's how you're rising. Quietly, powerfully, gracefully, unbothered. You're glowing in ways that can't be ignored. And the truth is, some of them can't stand it. Because deep down, they never thought you'd make it this far. They underestimated you. They laughed at your pain. They celebrated your struggles. And now, they're watching you be celebrated, rewarded, elevated. Spirit says this is karmic justice, but not just in the obvious sense. It's spiritual, emotional, symbolic. You didn't just survive the betrayal, you transmuted it. You turned wounds into wisdom. You turned chaos into clarity. You turned their hate into fuel. And now, they have no choice but to face the reflection staring back at them. You've become a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see when they look into it. Your peace exposes their pettiness. Your joy exposes their jealousy. Your blessings expose their bitterness. Every win you receive is a reminder of their failure to stop you. And that's hard for someone who made your downfall their full-time focus. But here's what's deeper. Spirit is saying they knew you were powerful from the start. That's why they tried so hard to dim your light. That's why they tried to turn others against you. That's why they whispered, plotted, sabotaged, and manipulated. Because they saw your potential before you did. But what they failed to realize was that your path was protected. They could delay, distract, maybe even hurt you temporarily. But they could never destroy you. And now, Your glow up is proof that everything meant for you is still arriving, right on time. They tried to block it, but Spirit rerouted it. They tried to bury you, but you turned into a seed. And now you're blooming in front of the very people who prayed for your withering. Spirit says, you don't need to feel guilty for thriving. You don't need to shrink to make them comfortable. Your success isn't the problem, it's the truth. And that truth is this: you're chosen, covered, and elevated. Not for show, but for purpose. So if you've been feeling like your wins are making some people act distant, shady, or fake supportive, that's not your imagination. That's the discomfort of someone being confronted by your growth. Let them be triggered. Let them sit in the energy they created, because your only job now is to keep rising. And Spirit says this is just the beginning. Number 6, you were never meant to fit in. Spirit is saying this next part is going to hit deep for someone watching this, because all your life you felt it, that sense of being different, out of place, misunderstood. Like no matter how much you tried to blend in, something about you always stood out. Maybe it was your energy, maybe it was your empathy, maybe it was the way you saw through people even when you didn't want to. But Spirit says that was never a flaw, that was the assignment. You weren't made to fit in, you were made to wake people up, and that made you a target. Because here's the truth, people are more comfortable with conformity than authenticity. Your presence, your honesty, your light, your spiritual insight, it rattled their demons, not because you did anything wrong, but because you mirrored everything they were trying to suppress. You walked into rooms and people got defensive and you never understood why. You told the truth and they called you too intense, too sensitive, or too much. You followed your intuition and they laughed like it was a joke. Until the things you warned about came true. And the pain that came from trying to make yourself smaller, more digestible, more normal, it was real. But let me say this clearly, because Spirit is saying it loud. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You carry codes, gifts, ancient knowledge, and not everyone is ready to receive that. So they project, they label you, they isolate you, but they never stop watching. Because even while they rejected you, they felt you. They knew there was something special about you, and that scared them. Because when someone has spent their whole life ignoring their truth, watching someone live theirs is uncomfortable. But you didn't come here to make people comfortable. You came here to break cycles. Spirit says the same energy that got you labeled different is the energy that makes you a leader, a guide, a way shower. You're not weird. You're wired differently. You're tapped into something most people have been taught to ignore. And that's your power. So if you've ever asked yourself, why don't I belong? Spirit's answer is simple, because you don't, and you're not supposed to. Your purpose isn't tied to blending in, it's tied to blazing a trail. The people who rejected you may not have had the capacity to understand you, but the ones you're meant to reach, the ones you're here to awaken, they'll recognize you, they'll feel your frequency and know you speak truth. And they'll follow that light, the same one others tried to put out. So stop trying to sit at tables that were never built for you. Spirit says, you are the table, you are the altar, you are the message. You weren't made to be liked, you were made to lead. Sokpeng pok tenbis hiwakens. Number 7, they're watching in silence. Spirit says this part might surprise you, or maybe deep down you've already felt it. They're still watching you, from fake accounts, from a distance, from behind masks and blocked numbers and old memories. But here's what's changed. They're not watching to mock. They're watching to marvel. The same people who laughed when you cried, who doubted your strength, who made jokes out of your pain, are now watching you with a different kind of silence. The silence that comes from being completely stunned. Because you were supposed to fold, you were supposed to spiral, you were supposed to break. And now they're staring at someone who is unshakable. Spirit is showing me observers, quiet, cautious, even envious, trying to figure it out. How did they bounce back like that? How are they glowing after everything they went through? Why does the energy feel stronger now than it ever did before? The truth. You healed in silence, you grew in the dark, and now your light is undeniable, and they're squinting trying to understand it. They scroll your social media but never like your posts. They watch your stories with burner accounts. They ask mutuals about you but pretend like they don't care. Why? Because to admit they're still invested would mean admitting that you were never the problem. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Spirit says, don't let the silence fool you. It's not peace, it's shock. Some of them are even trying to mimic your energy now, studying your language, your mindset, your strength, trying to copy your evolution, not realizing it can't be duplicated. Because what you went through to become this version of yourself can't be manufactured. It had to be lived. They're realizing that your peace didn't come easy, it was earned. Through heartbreak, through isolation, through betrayal. And now that you've come out on the other side unbothered and glowing, they don't know what to do with that. because they were counting on your silence being a sign of defeat, not a sacred pause before the comeback. Spirit says, let them watch, let them study, let them sit in their confusion. Because you're not here to convince anybody, you're not here to prove your worth to people who try to destroy it. Your healing was loud in the spirit realm, and now the results are loud in the physical, and it's shaking them. So if you've been sensing eyes on you, feeling watched for no reason, that's not paranoia, that's discernment. They're watching in silence because they can't deny the transformation. They're watching because what they tried to break came back stronger, wiser, and divinely protected. And now, all they can do is watch. Number 8, closing message, claim it. And now, Spirit says it's time to bring this full circle. You've done more than just survive. You've done more than just heal. You've cleared karmic cycles that have been playing out for generations. Cycles of betrayal, jealousy, sabotage, and spiritual attack. You've shut it all down. For yourself, for your lineage, for the ones coming after you. This wasn't just about you being targeted, this was about you being tested. And now that the test is over, Spirit is elevating you in front of the same people who tried to block your path. You've crossed into a new timeline, one where your energy is protected, your peace is non-negotiable, and your path is being divinely cleared. What once drained you now avoids you. What once broke you now fuels you. You're no longer the underdog, you are the proof. And Spirit says this elevation isn't a reward, it's a recognition. You were always chosen, you were always anointed, you were always covered. This moment, this message is simply the confirmation of what your soul already knew. The people who spoke against you, quiet now. The ones who doubted you, watching now. The ones who tried to dim your light, standing in the shadows while you shine. And you didn't have to fight dirty. You didn't have to get even. You just stayed aligned, you listened, you healed, and Spirit did the rest. So now I invite you to claim this reading, not just as a message, but as a shift. Speak it. Anchor it. Let the universe know that you are stepping fully into this truth. Go ahead and type in the comments, I am covered and rising. Say it again if you need to. Let it echo through your energy field. Let it cancel out every lie they spoke over you. And if this message found you, you're not here by accident. Spirit led you to this because it's time to stop shrinking, stop second-guessing, and stop explaining. You've already proven who you are by simply being unbreakable. You're not waiting for validation anymore. You're walking in confirmation. And as you rise, remember, when you walk with divine energy, even the loudest haters go silent. So if this resonated with you, take a moment to breathe it in. Share this video with someone else who's rising. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a message when Spirit sends for you. Because here at Linda the Tarot, we don't just read cards, we read energy. And right now, your energy is unstoppable. This was your message from Lindsay Speaks. If it resonated, let Spirit know in the comments and share your light with others. Until next time, keep rising. Your name is being spoken in alignment with greatness now.